am Mahmoud. How you doing, guys? Today, I want to walk you through how I mixed Booty's guitars in his new song, Three Names. So, I have had the pleasure of working with Booty a bunch of times already. And today, I want to show you what I did to his guitars. If you want to see more of what I did to his song, please let me know. I'd be happy to show you through the whole mix. But for now, we're sticking with what I did with the guitars. So, let's jump right into it. Booty sent me a bunch of tracks. As you can see, 2 rhythm guitars, a bunch of leads, and a bunch of cleans. I'm going to be turning off the processing and turning it back on and walk you through my thought process of what I did and why I did it. I didn't have to do too much, honestly, because the usual issues that I find with guitars is most of the time the playing. If you're on Booty's channel right now, you already know that's not the issue. And to be frank, there wasn't many issues at all, but there was a few things that I wanted to change to make the guitars sit in a mix the way he wanted the mix to sound. Let's start with the rhythm guitars. So I did nothing on the individual channels. What I did do is I summed the left and right tracks to one group channel, and I wanted to do all the processing on there because I know from Booty's playing and recording style that he usually tracks 2 rhythm guitars, occasionally a 3rd and 4th rhythm guitar, which was not the case for this song. So what did I do? I'm going to leave this limiter on just so the sound level doesn't change for whatever you're listening to right now. This is only for volume, it doesn't do anything else. So let's start with how the guitars sound as they are. I'm going to solo the track here, and let's call it right there. This is how they sound right now. A few things that I had noticed while mixing the song was, let's check out the EQ. I found that there was a bit of a lack in low-mid information. I wanted more thickness. And given that he usually goes for thick-sounding guitars, at least in his riffing style, I wanted to emphasize that. And this riff obviously is very notey, so that low-mid information can get lost very quickly. And I wanted to remedy that. There's a few things that I did there. Let's turn on the EQ and see what it does. I'm going to repeat that section here. I find that the EQ adds so much energy and so much life to an already amazing performance by Booty. What I did essentially is I added a lot of, well, that's not low mid anymore, really. That's almost already in the bass region. 120 hertz, around 2 dB, and I made it dynamic. So whenever he hits too hard, it goes back down. Which means when he's playing the notier riffs that aren't as bass heavy, they stay kind of up there with the bass. This here, 370, the 400 region usually, is where a lot of the boxiness lives in a guitar track most often. However, I found that in this particular song, it was lacking. I wanted more of that low mid energy. So I added it. And from there, it was just a matter of adding enough presence to everything and notching this region here that I'll show you in a second. Let's find a region where that's very good. Yeah. Let's listen to that 7.8K spike. Kind of unmusical, unnecessary information. And I cut the high end at like 11K. It's just fizz. And here I just wanted more energy. So let's listen to the before and after again. It may seem drastic, and that's because it is. If you're mixing metal, metal is extreme music, and extreme music needs extreme measures. That's what it comes down to. So don't be afraid to push stuff where it needs to go, especially if you have super loud drums, an aggressive bass track. You just do what you need to do. This is what I needed. The next step is adding this lovely plugin here. And this is the Decapitator by Soundtoys. And this was also to add more of that low-end oomph and make it a bit more angry. I found that the guitar tracks that Booty recorded sounded good, but they also sounded very, for lack of better words, a bit tame. I wanted a bit more danger. And this helps with that very easily. Let's listen to that. And I find also that it kind of widens everything for some reason now that I listen to it on my headphones. It feels like it pushes it out further to the sides. And that's also with only like, I don't know, 20% mix? Yeah, 23%. So I love this plugin. This works wonders. And sometimes it works great on guitars. Yeah, it's not usually on my Rhythms guitar bus. But I needed more something. I needed more saturation. I needed more danger. This helped that. And finally, it's really just the 3 plugins. More EQ. So I added some high end because a lot of the times in a finished mix, you need a lot of high end. That's what you end up boosting most of the time. I cut some more low end, I cut some more high end, actually not more low end, for the first time actually, and only at like 60 hertz. And I cut more high end. Let's see how that sounds. Yeah, I think this really polishes it up more. The high-end cut here is very important because that fizziness that was added by the Decapitator can get irritating. It's a sound for sure, but it needs to be tamed after making it more aggressive before. But yeah, that's just how it goes sometimes. I added more mid-range, this time at the 1.2 range, a bit higher than the one boost I did before. And I added a lot of low end, as you can see here, at around 140. That's the rhythm guitars. Let's turn all of the plugins off again and listen to what happens when I turn them back on. Like I said, the performance was great. The tone, I wouldn't have achieved this result without Booty having already dialed in a good sounding tone and played a good performance. So it starts there. Just keep that in mind. Even though this may seem drastic, which it is, just keep in mind that you need a good performance to start with. Moving on. Oh yeah, before we continue with the lead guitars, please make sure you like and subscribe. I would really, really appreciate it. This video is not sponsored by anyone. We have no backup for anything of this. This is just a small channel and we want to make it work. So you liking, subscribing, commenting, this all helps immensely. Thank you so much. I'm gonna turn these off. Did I do much here? Yeah, sometimes I did. Not all that much. This is just a high cut. As you can see here, this is just a high cut that I did on the left and right guitars. And here it's the same almost high cut. However, I added this plugin, the Microshift. Let's listen to what that does. Did you notice? What I wanted to do with this specific track is I wanted to stereoify it. And I like to use the Microshift to do this fake stereo thing. It doesn't always work, but in this very instance, I liked it, and Booty didn't seem to mind. He didn't say anything about it, so mission accomplished. And let's check out the solo track. Here, I went a bit more heavy-handed as far as I remember. Yeah, just a little. More of that low-end thing, the low-mid thing that I wanted. And again, the decapitator. However, this time the mix is on full. So let's see what happens when I turn these things off. This plugin doesn't do anything, so I might as well just take it off. Let's hear that. Yeah, I think the decapitator as well as the EQ are just there to emphasize the pick attack and make it stand out more in the mix with the dense rhythm guitars as well as the synthesizer, which is also there. So this all goes into the bus. Let's listen to what happens when I turn on the bus. This is a drastic volume boost here, so just keep that in mind. I don't do anything more here aside from cutting the highs and lows. It's just a filter. And then here's where the real game starts. Drastic EQing. A lot of notching, which I tend to not like to do, but for some reason I felt like I needed to with this lead guitar. Well, specifically because it's often multiple guitars stacked on top of each other. As you can see, Booty likes stacking stuff. And he has 4 guitars stacked on top of each other, aside from the rhythm guitars that are also there. So I needed to find a way to kind of make this all work together. And this is what helped. It just makes it easier to listen to without getting too tired too quickly. So let's play that again. And on its own, you might be thinking, man, that sounds a bit too radio-y, too lo-fi, but in the mix, it just helped it stand out. Especially when I put the other guitars back in. Yeah. And last but not least, this is a plugin that is extremely dangerous, so be careful when you use it. I did say mixing sometimes requires extreme measures, but this one genuinely, if you can get away without using it, I recommend not using it. Soothe is so powerful, it can neuter any sound completely. So just be careful with it. What it does is it notches out certain frequencies that it thinks are too much, basically. Let's listen to that. So yeah, it doesn't do much in this specific instance. I just had it dialed in for the mid-range to notch that a little bit. Because there's, as I told you, there's up to 4 guitars playing at the same time on this specific bus. So you need to be careful with the buildup of that range. And last but not least, let's check out the clean guitars. The clean guitars have nothing on them, except for on the bus. Let's check out what I did. This. It's a slight cut in the higher mids and this dynamic cut when it gets a bit too much. Let's play that. I didn't want that pick attack buildup. It was a bit too much for me. So I just tamed that a little. That's the first thing I did. And then a lot, actually. Let's check that out. I took out some high end, added some mid range at 1.5K, took out some mid range at 600, and then just filtered the low end and high end. These guitars aren't central to the song. These are for ambience and for texture, so I treated them as such. If everything is in the forefront, nothing is. So you need to make some decisions, really. And that's the guitars. Now, please keep in mind, I did use some analog gear to mix his song, and what you're hearing right now is not going through that analog chain. For demonstration purposes, I think it's still enough to show you what I did, but the end result, well, I encourage you to check it out on Booty's channel. So that being said, thank you so much for watching. I hope this gave you some insight into how I mixed his guitars. Go check out Booty's channel. He's a wonderful guitarist and a wonderful dude on top of that. So I'll see you next time. In the meantime, please like and subscribe and take care. Cheers.